Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video. This is round 12 of a PSGL and we are racing around one of my favorite tracks, Jeddah. And we are on our outlap for Q1 here to try and make it into Q2 on a single set of tires as per usual. Nothing new for the people who watch these races every week. As you can see here in the standings, we're P2, only 1 point behind Barry Borman. We've had some solid results over the past couple of races. A lot of P2 finishes, unfortunately. But yeah, last two races we've not even finished on the podium. So I would love to even finish P2 here and gain more points in the championship. That's the aim, of course, in this very tight championship fight. And before we start a lap, I just want to say a little bit sorry for me for not uploading as much in the past week, 1.5 weeks. I'm currently at the Mercedes factory for a training camp, I should say, and yeah, it's just very tough to record this kind of stuff because during the day there's always people, and then yeah, my teammates stay here until quite late as well. So by the time I can record stuff, it's well past midnight, and yeah, it's just hard when you have to be back here early in the morning. So yeah, it's sorry, I should have maybe prepared a little bit better, and yeah, I need to try and prevent in future, of course, to make sure I can keep uploading every day. So sorry for that, but as you can see there, pretty much flat out for that whole S section on F123. I absolutely love it, and we do a .348 there at the start of Q1. And that means we're 1.4 tenths up on our teammate Danny Resnay, our in real life teammate Danny Resnay, who is part of the Mercedes F1 esports team. And yes, been a decent lap so far. Nothing special though, to be honest. A few moments here and there, not completely hooked up as we head into the final sector here. It's a 59.073, 3 tenths up on Alvaro Carreton, who is looking to improve for sure here as well. On his next run, we're one of the latest out on track here in Q1, and yeah, we've actually been latest quite a few times now, whereas last year we always were one of the first out on track, and I'm not sure why actually. I just go out later, or maybe the rest goes out earlier. Of course, we've got the brake dragging on this year's game to help warm up the tires, and yeah, I think that's why everyone goes out a little bit earlier, whereas, yeah, I'm just still going out at pretty much the same time. So, on to the end of Q1 then. We have to improve here, actually, because, as you guys know, it's always very tight in PSGL qualifying, especially in Q1. And going into the final corner, we're 700s up, and only P13, P14 at the moment, so we're going to have to improve here. Otherwise, we're going to be out. Through the final corner we go, and it is a pretty big improvement. 1.4 tenths. And that is gonna get us through quite easily up to P3, and a 1.5 tenth improvement, and we went from basically almost getting knocked out to P3. It's absolutely crazy. It's Freddie Rasmussen in P1 there, and yeah, a pretty clean lap. Honestly, it felt like a good lap. So a bit disappointing we didn't go P1 actually there, and yeah, also a bit unfortunate we had to use 2 new sets of tires, where some people only use 1 new set of tires, including our championship rival Barry Borman there in P13. So start of Q2 here then, our first new set of tires run. I did a lap on used tires, but I think I boxed at the end of the lap, so this is actually our first time lap here, and across the line we go. It is only P6. So we're definitely going to have to go out again, and that means we're only going to have 1 new set of tires for Q3, and that makes fighting for pole position so much harder every single week. Although these days it seems to be like there's only a handful of people who can save 2 sets of tires for Q3, and very often it's not even consistently the same people. As you can see, last week Lucas Blakely, me and Barry Borman all went out in Q2 around Spa, and yeah, it's just so tight. Honestly, you need to nail a lap to comfortably make it through after your first run. And if you don't, you're going to have to go out again. So through Sector 1 we go, into Sector 2. Actually, we haven't gained anything on this second lap so far. We are equal on our delta, but you can see there, 200 gain. And it might not seem like a lot, but those can be easily 5 positions by the end of this qualifying session. And that looked very nicely hooked up. Good rotation, early on power. And it's almost a 1/10 improvement as we open the DRS on to the fast left-hander. This one is probably the hardest corner on the track to nail. Have to turn in early and not bottom out on the outside curb. Again, half a 10 improvement, and we're gonna have to nail this final corner of the racetrack because we're only in P11. Only the top 10 make it through into Q3, and you can see there we have dropped down to P12. So we're gonna have to hook it up nicely to get into Q3 here. 1.110 improvement, and that is gonna be enough to make it into Q3, and it is gonna be more than enough as we go fastest across the line. And again, crazy margins, a 1.110 improvement, and we went from P12 to P1. And I knew that I was gonna make it through, so I took the final corner a little bit easy, thinking that it was maybe gonna cost me from P2 to P6, but instead we actually still managed to go P1. So that actually felt nice, that we had some extra left in the tank, you know. Our other championship rival, Brandon Lee, actually out in Q2, P15 there. And our teammate Jake Benham out now as well. So unfortunately all our teammates knocked out. Danny Bresnay and Marcel Kiefer out in Q1 and Jake out there in Q2. So maybe it shows a little bit that we're lacking pace here for Jeddah. Not gonna lie, I think as a team we were maybe a little bit of the pace in qualifying, and yeah, it shows. We had to nail laps to get through into the next stages, and yeah, when you just have to perform at such a high level, it is nice to have a little bit extra in the tank. And I think at this race we just didn't have anything extra in the tank. And you can see there only P9.
First sector was good, the rest was shit.
On a used set of tires. So new set, or only new set, and this is the one where we're gonna have to nail it into turn 1, braking at 100 meters down to 3rd gear. Clip the inside curb for rotation. Same for the right-hander here. Not too much though, as you need to get up on the power early, and it's a 3,500 improvement. Now let's not forget, last run was on used tires, so we need to improve a lot here. But it's only 200 sub. But as you can hear me say at the end of my first lap, that used tire run was really good in Sector 1, and you can see it's only a 300 improvement, but there's so much more time in the last 2 sectors. You can see we're 1.2 up on Lucas Blakely here, down to 4th gear we go, early on the power, as we're trying to keep the back end stable, 1.3 up, and smooth on the steering wheel as we flick it into this next right-hander. Very long exit coming up, so it's important to get on the power early. Over 210 improvement now. Wilson Hughes goes up to provisional pole with a 25.317. We are looking currently for only a 0.5. So we're going to have to improve another 2/10 if we want to improve a lot. I've gone a little bit wide there, almost onto the exit curb. And that has definitely cost us at least 1/10. Onto the final corner we go then. I'm going to have to brake late, but also prepare the exit for the run up to the line. Braking at around 75 meters down to 3rd gear, early on the power, trying to get the back end stable. Up to the wall we go. DRS open, it's Thomas Ronald, pole position. Can we take it away? No, we can't. And it's only a high 0.3 and only P6 on the grid. And yeah, the mistake we made in that fast left-hander, just turning in slightly too late, having to kind of back off the power, it cost us at least a 10th, and that's pole position gone. We didn't nail the lap, it wasn't good enough, and yeah, that's the level we were driving on. Of course, unfortunately, our championship rival Barry Burman's in P2, he did a cracking lap as well, only 1,000ths away from pole position, and yeah, we didn't do a good enough of a lap with that mistake going into the final sector there, unfortunately. So those are the margins we're playing at, and you can see there 1.410 loss to Barry Borman in that final sector, and most of that would have been lost in that fast left-hander, of course. Onto the race we go then. We are gonna be starting on the hard compound of tires here, looking to go longer into the race than most people, because you can see a lot of people on the softs. Freddie Rasmussen ahead on the mediums, and Tom Manley right of us on the softs. It's lights out, and away we go for round 12 of the PSGL Championship. Off the line we go. Slightly worse start than the guys ahead of us, of course, because we're on the hards. Nicolas Longue behind us on the hards as well, and Lucas Blakely in P9 on the hards. So trying to have a little look down the inside of Tom Manley here, but I know going side by side through there is not a smart idea, especially considering we are on hards and Tom is on softs. He was probably going to pass us later on this lap anyway, so no point in making a stupid move there, trying to defend hard, risking our own race. We are just going to sit back here and try to keep track position. We've only lost one position so far, and if we can keep that, that is a huge, huge win, because everyone ahead is on the softs, apart from Freddie Rasmussen, who is on the mediums, and he's probably looking for a medium hard or a medium soft strategy from here on. And yeah, honestly, I feel like that's a tough strategy to go for, because medium hard, the hards are not a great tire. We've decided to start on them, which is a huge risk, simply because you tend to lose a lot of track position and on the start, and then also in the pit stop phase, where a lot of people will be boxing earlier than you, of course. So it is a huge risk, but we are willing to take this, considering we're only starting P6. Now, we've got a little bit of a cushion behind from having Nicolas and Lucas there, which is really nice, because all the softer tire runners will have to go through them first, which they did not manage to, as you can see here in lap 6. And we are in lap 6 now. Softs are definitely starting to drop. You can see we are much closer now.
Manley is on by any chance?
Than we were at the end of lap 1. And as we go through the long left hand, there's a bit of an incident up front. I'm not sure what happened, but I tried to instantly take advantage from that opportunity there that was given to us. Tom was not really looking up ahead well.
You know if anyone got damaged there?
Drove into the back of Freddy, and yeah, it was just a bit of a chain reaction. We were looking well up ahead and yeah, prepared the exit slightly better, didn't run into the back of anyone, and an easy position there. Now, end of lap 6, definitely too early for people to think about boxing, as I'm having to defend a little bit from Tom behind, as I think Nicolas is pushing as well. Tom goes around the outside, as we have covered off the inside there early on the power, and yeah, I think by now our tires are starting to get faster, to be honest. I definitely do think that Freddy is still on the faster tires at the moment. But yeah, he has a tough task ahead.
I don't think he has.
On this strategy, I think so. Because he's going to have to move to the hards, which makes him vulnerable around the pit stop phase. End of lap 9 though, Alfie Butcher and Thomas Ron are both boxing. Wilson and Barry Borman in P1-2 staying out on the softs. So they're probably looking to box at the end of this lap. I think you could potentially do 11 laps on softs as well, but you're probably going to be losing
Lucas
a lot
to the DRS
of a lap time. So Lucas broke a DRS to P7, I think so, or at least was close to. So I was hoping he could do that, because that makes our life a little bit easier, or at least for me, Nicolas, and both Lucas as well. But you can see that actually Tom is still on the soft, and as I said, potentially you can do 11 laps on the softs. Tom is going for it. He's taking the risk, staying out an extra lap. But yeah, he's probably gonna head towards puncture territory. And yeah, he's definitely gonna have to box at the end of lap 11 now. So I was hoping that Lucas was gonna break the DRS to whoever is in P6, and we're gonna pass Freddy here, as we're gonna have DRS. And yeah, and I think it's just smart to swap around, so you can kind of like keep pushing each other ahead, pulling each other ahead, I should say. And yeah, that keeps, I think, the average pace a little bit higher, and it's good for both our races, you know. And that's exactly what we need. So I want to get further up ahead in this race, and so does Freddy. And end of lap 12 now. Unfortunately, Lucas did not break DRS to Ismail Fassi in P5. And yeah, Ismail probably pushed quite hard to get back into the DRS, and yeah, Lucas is just stuck behind Nicolas, of course. So it's of course just a DRS train as per usual, as Lucas actually decides to box. I decided to stay out and go for at least one more lap But in the back of my mind, I was thinking to box at the end of lap 13, simply because 12 laps on mediums to the end seems quite comfortable. You can even do 15 laps, 16 laps, as most soft runners box from mediums. So
Does Ben not know this? He has access to the PSGL Discord. Okay.
So yeah, as I was asking some questions about pit entry rules, as yeah, they tend to change every week for some reason in PSGL. I always read them, but I always just want to make sure that I do them right. Yeah, there are always some weird pit entry rules in PSGL.
Safety car.
Okay,
Oh,
mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD.
oh, well, good.
Understood. Copy that.
Good time to box, don't you think, Bonnie?
And as I was thinking about boxing at the end of lap 13, the safety car has come out at the absolute perfect moment for us. And the reason for that is you've got to keep to a delta, and
Yep.
that basically means that your 60 kph in the pit lane makes you lose less time. So we're gonna gain huge from this. We're gonna come out well ahead of Lucas, who just boxed last lap. We're gonna have fresher tires. Yeah, and then we also are gonna gain back kind of the track position that we lost, the time loss. As you can see here, I'm staying well within the lines because I don't want to take the risk of being screwed over by some weird pit entry rules, as we've seen in the past. So making sure I stay well within the lines, not crossing them with any tire. And now we're gonna have to push a little bit on this pit exit though, as it is gonna be close with some of the people who boxed at the end of lap 9. So yeah, pushing here a little bit hard. Barry in P2, and yeah, you can see we've actually come out right ahead of Wilson there, and right behind Barry. So only 2 people ahead of us, and some people who boxed at lap 9 have actually boxed again, and that's the power of new tires. You want new tires, you want fresh tires, because it's such a big pace gain to have new tires. So we are in a prime position now to win this race. However, we do have Nicolas Longue behind, as you can hear Jake scream about something in the background. I have no idea for what. But considering we were behind the safety car, I don't know what was going on for him. But yeah, Nicolas Longue, I think at this point, is our main threat in this race, to be honest. Simply because he's the only one on new tires around us. Safety car restart now at lap 15. 10 more laps of racing in this race. And we're going to try and line up a move into turn 1 straight away on Barry Bormand. But we have to play it smart, of course. He is our championship rival. He's not going to let us go easily. And at the same time, he knows we have fresh tires. So we've got everything to lose. He's got everything to gain. And he will know that as well, of course. So we've got to play it smart. We know we have a big advantage here. We don't instantly have to take a lot of risk. And we are going to get DRS in 2 to 3 laps as well. So just need to line up a move to comfortably make it pass here. Trying to find some dirt, clean air, I should say. And you can see we've got so much more grip. We can literally follow him right behind him, even though we've got dirt here. And through here as well, we just got more grip. And yeah, you can see him there use a bit of his battery. And he probably wants his teammate Nicolas Longue get into the mix as well, because that would be very ideal for him, of course. So again, gonna go for a move here into the final corner. But the second we pull out, Barry realized that we were very close and looking for a move. Into the final corner we go then. Around the outside we go. We can brake much deeper. We've got more grip, more space. Barry pushes a little bit wide, but gives us just enough space on the exit. And there was some good fighting going on there. Barry going for it again. Into turn 1 perhaps, not quite. I was trying to think about a move into turn 1, but again, we have to play it smart. We've got the advantage. We just need to play it patient. We can't afford making any stupid moves and getting involved in incidents. So yeah, again, could have maybe gone for a move into turn 1. Would have been a risk, but at the same time, we've got to think that Nicolas is the closest threat at the moment, and he's in P5 and has not made any progress as well. He's in the same scenario as us. He knows he has the advantage, but the others have everything to gain. You've got everything to lose, and it's a bit of a mind game as well, of course. You have to take some risk and get past, but you have to play it patient as well. So lap 17 here, we got an easy pass on Alfie there, as he's probably looking to get some DRS on the next lap. However, we don't want that, as I get a little bit of a moment. Our setup has been very sketchy, to be honest, throughout this wall race. It's been very hard to drive.
Alfie has the oldest tires, right?
And yeah, you can hear me say Alfie has the oldest tires. So I decided, you know what, we're gonna go for it here. 55% battery remaining. We're gonna turn on the burners and try and pull out of this DRS. We've got half a second to gain in the next sector. Actually 6 tenths now to gain in the next sector to pull out of the DRS, because you already got DRS in that middle sector. So there are quite a lot of DRS zones, 3 to be exact, and they are very powerful. So even with a big tire advantage, it's going to be hard to pull out once he gets DRS. So pushing hard here, you can see the back end constantly wants to step out. Every single time I turn on rotation or turn on the steering lock. Purple first sector, as you can see that, 32.2, and we have now managed to get out of DRS 1.09 seconds, and the DRS deduction zone is going to be right here on the exit. And again, a little bit of a correction there mid-corner as the back end wants to step out. Using my final bit of battery just to make sure that at the next DRS zone I'm going to be out as well. And you can see again a purple sector. Got the apex nicely there, turning on the overtake once again to pull the gap to 1.5 seconds. And all the while, Nicolas is only in P4. However, he is right behind his teammate, and I reckon Barry is not going to fight us too hard, because he knows that the main game to get points away from me is having Nico try and take the win away from me, of course, as we set the fast lap of the race there. And yeah, by end of lap 20, Nicolas into P2. And Barry actually managed to get past Alfie as well there, as Barry has that 1 lap fresher tires than Alfie, of course. But yeah, a lot of people on new tires, and they've not really seemed to be able to get through. And actually, as I say that, Josh and Ismail managed to get through there. However, Alfie,
well, that's
Josh,
very nice.
And Ismail, I think, got caught up in an incident there in the final corner, which caused the VSC. However, we had a 2-second advantage. I think actually 2.1 second advantage
Can you,
to Nicolas there.
Just warn me if VSC is ending, because I've missed it quite a few times now.
And yes, you can hear me say, for some reason I've missed the VSC ending.
So just with the second you see it, tell me.
Quite a few times in league racing, so I just asked
ending.
Bono there to remind me about it. But yeah, we're 6 tenths green there at the safety car ending, or VSC ending, and somehow we've lost a second. So I was very confused, especially considering the VSC started when we were at the end of the straight, and Nicolas was midway down the straight, which means we should have gained time, considering it's a 40% reduction in speed, which is a much bigger loss, of course, if you're midway down the straight compared to someone who is going in a slow corner. Because of course 40% on 70 kph is much less than 40% at 300 kph. So yeah, somehow I lost 1.1 seconds there, and I still don't know why, to be honest. Of course we were 6 tenths green, so arguably we could have lost 6 tenths.
8 tenths on a delta, but even if I filled that up, I would have been...
yeah, we actually plus 6 tenths, and Nico was plus 4 tenths, so we should have lost 2 tenths, not gonna lie, but we got a good exit there on the VSC restart, and unfortunately Thomas has managed to get back into our DRS here. But back to the VSC story, I still to this day don't understand how I lost that much time. Even if we would have got a bad exit, we arguably could have lost 2-3 tenths, and then also with the VSC delta we could have lost another 3 tenths, but then that still doesn't add up to the 1 to 1.1 seconds we lost there.
I'm not winning this race.
And yeah, as you can hear me say there, we are not winning this race. Simply because the DRS is so strong around here. We've got Thomas behind us. We got 8 seconds of penalties, to be honest, from last week's Spa race. But we've got to remember that now for 2 laps, Nicolas has been pulled along by Thomas. And probably saving a bit of battery. So, very unfortunate scenario here. Even if we get beaten, of course, by Thomas, we will win the race. But our main threat here is Nico, who probably has more battery, has DRS on this straight, but also on the next straight.
Yeah, I need to watch out for Longa.
And yeah, as you can hear me say, I'm gonna have to watch out for Longa here at the final DRS straight. And this is such a long DRS straight, and we don't have any battery. Nicolas only 4/10 behind. And you can see I've started using my DRS now in the hope I could use it in the slipstream.
Of course, he's giving Longa DRS.
Yeah, into the final corner. There's no overtaking opportunity, unfortunately, anymore, as Nicolas went a bit wider, which caught me off guard.
I have no comment to this, honestly.
And yeah, Nicolas caught me a bit off guard there, but going wide. I think he just slightly locked up, which surprised me. I should have maybe actually been able to slip down the inside there, but yeah, it is what it is. It was a very chaotic race, because you can see Lucas actually P15 ended up in an incident. Same with Wilson. Those were all guys who qualified relatively well. Another championship rival, Brandon Lee, no points. However, there were a crazy amount of penalties for incidents. Pit entries as well. As I said, the pit entry rules are very confusing in PSGL. They change week to week. They are weird. But yeah, that's why we stayed well within the white lines. Yeah, unfortunately, another P2 finish. Thomas has 8 seconds of penalties from last week with the incidents from us. So he will drop out of the points. And yeah, we will finish P2. Barry ended up in P3 after penalties, actually. After all penalties were applied. So we only get 2 points, unfortunately, to Barry. Instead of a potential like 10. Which is frustrating. Not gonna lie. But it is what it is. On to next week, which is gonna be Mexico. One of my favorite tracks in the F1 game and in F1 esports. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless. I'm sorry again for not uploading a lot, for not streaming a lot in the past week, 1.5 weeks. I'll try and make sure to improve on that, and see you guys next time. Ciao.